Hello, I am making this video because the Wellness Committee has a proposal for making adjustments to our wellness program design. And I want to communicate what that change is to you in a way that would not be effective in email. And we want to receive some of your feedback and make this a collaborative effort. So I want to first start with what has motivated this sudden change when previously we communicated that there would be no changes. Number one, we have had new input from industry best practices. Rosie Ward is a well-known wellness consultant who has helped many companies out there make changes to their wellness programs. And she has given her training recently on how to implement the science of behavior change with wellness program design in a way that I think made sense for us. So that was one reason. Number two, the news that even donated gift cards and things are questionable when it comes to incentives for employees. And instead of seeing this as a bad thing, we started thinking about how we could use this as an opportunity to finally go ahead and rethink our incentives as we've been trying to do, and use this as an opportunity to take a new approach. And then number three, we've been having ongoing discussions about the limitations of our current wellness program design. And so if we're going to take a new, fresh perspective, thinking about not using even donated gift cards and things, what could that look like? So all three of those reasons have combined into a recommendation that the Wellness Committee has for moving forward with our wellness program. Now, the recommendation I'm going to review with you is something they would like to move forward with for the next plan year, recognizing that the next plan year starts May 16th. Recognizing that if we are going to move forward with this, we would need to get communications out about the changes in the design soon. And because of that, we wanted to make sure that we had buy-in of the trustees of these changes as well. Now, these changes we're recommending don't change anything financially, so it's not a financial decision. And it's been a little gray about what we need to bring to the board and what not to bring to the board, but this would be a significant change in the program design, so we want to make sure we bring this to the board as an opportunity for you to review. But I'm not sure we can wait until the next board meeting in order to move forward with marketing on this. So I'm giving you this video to summarize what the recommendations are for the wellness program design that we would like to move forward with the next plan year, to see if it's possible we can coordinate and get this out and rolling as far as marketing for open enrollment sooner rather than later. So with that being said, I'm going to review with you some of the challenges that we've had with are identified with the wellness program that we are trying to redesign for. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and this document I'm going to share, I will make available to you as well. What's been going well? We've had great attendance of our webinars. We've had great feedback about the quality and value of our webinars we've been offering. We've had great attendance of our challenges and great feedback on behavior changes that have occurred through those challenges. And we've had great feedback on our one-on-one services. However, the utilization of those one-on-one services still remains lower than anticipated. When it comes to the wellness program, here are some of the challenges we're trying to solve for. Number one, the wellness program still feels like it's a check the box type of program. In other words, we're incentivizing people to just merely show up and check the box that they did something without necessarily it being about making any changes to their behavior. In other words, they're going in and saying, yes, I did my annual exam. Yes, I did my teeth cleanings. Yes, I did my vision exam. And then they're done and they get their incentive, and they never actually have to engage in any of the actual health behavior services that we offer. Another thing is that incentives still are detrimental to intrinsic motivation. This is something we've been talking about with the board for a long time. So if we're going to incentivize something we don't care if employees are motivated on, like getting an annual exam, something you do once a year will incentivize you to do it, then that's a good use of incentives. But if we're going to incentivize things like signing up for 6 weeks of health coaching or anything that requires behavior change, an incentive actually ruins some of that intrinsic motivation. Because of the way we know through science and the way the human mind works, if someone feels they need to be incentivized to do something, they inherently view it as less valuable, because why would you need to incentivize me to do something that is valuable? So always thinking about how we can design our program where we're relying less on incentives. And the current health insurance incentive still feels like a stick to some. They feel like they used to pay X amount of dollars for their health insurance, and now they have to jump through hoops to pay that same amount. So it feels like a stick. And we don't want to pull incentives away from people because we don't want them to feel like something's been taken away from them. So we have lots of competing challenges as well. We recognize that health behavior change can help lower healthcare costs, but a majority of our program really promotes just checking the box and participating in certain things without some of that engagement. And it's also hard to measure other aspects of the wellness program that are beneficial, like increased productivity and retention and things like that, as well as team culture and stuff. We want to simplify the program. There are too many people confused about what's worth points, how to enter those points. It's too overwhelming. We've attempted to try to simplify that in ways of communication, but ultimately employees still get overwhelmed, still get confused, and this is one of the biggest pieces of feedback we still have. In fact, in some of the feedback I got from an annual review was they wish the wellness program would just sort of focus on a few things and make sure those are done well. Another one is that we want to change the program, but we don't want to change the program because employees are burnt out on needing to adapt to change. So whatever changes we make, we have to be careful that they don't make them anything more difficult for employees. And also we know that it's safest to avoid gift cards and incentives for employees over $20, even if they're donated. And so we're trying to take that into account as well. And many employees are still not aware of the actual wellness services we offer. So these are all the challenges we're trying to account for. And we think we accounted for all of these in a new idea that we have for the wellness program. We're trying to get employees who are resilient, who are engaged in their well-being, who want to stay and have retention, who contribute to a positive culture, who see our wellness services as high quality, high value, and who have intrinsic motivation toward their own well-being. So with all that in mind, this is some of the recommendations we've come up with. The idea is that we would break up the incentive that we currently have and make it a healthcare incentive and a wellness incentive. The healthcare incentive would be a $240 discount on your healthcare or your health insurance. And that $240 discount would be achieved by doing one of two things. Either doing an annual exam and getting your biometrics, or participating in a healthcare plan seminar with a quiz at the end. The seminar is an opportunity for us to communicate not only all the changes to the health plan that we normally communicate during open enrollment, but also information on how to best utilize the plan, teaching them about how to use cost transparency tools on Blue Cross Blue Shield, being able to search up certain procedures you might need and where you can get it done for a lower cost. Explaining the prescription benefits and how to best utilize those. All those kinds of things we wish all employees knew if they all came to open enrollment, and yet many of them don't. We can build into this seminar on how to best utilize the plan. I've already spoken to Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they are prepared to give us a recorded webinar on all of these aspects, and we can keep updating it. We can make it a two-part seminar, make sure that we include everything that they need to know for our NAPET benefits and all changes occurred that year, as well as anything that Blue Cross Blue Shield would like them to know to best utilize their plan. So they would do one of those two things and they could get the $240 discount. The idea behind this is it's more directly related to responsible use of their healthcare plan, and they get a discount on their healthcare insurance. And it's an opportunity to ensure that everyone on the healthcare plan then gets the information that we would like them to get anytime throughout the year. Then the idea is we would also offer a wellness or well-being incentive, and that incentive would be just to attend a seminar on well-being. It could be offered online, in person, live, pre-recorded, and all of those, with a quiz at the end. So they would need to pass that quiz in order to receive that incentive. And in that webinar or seminar rather is an opportunity for us to teach them about behavior change, the science behind behavior change and how to apply it to their lives. This is something I can teach to all employees and include in the seminar, as well as everything the wellness program offers, how to sign up for one-on-one services, how to utilize them, and give you them information about each of those services. So the benefit here is they would get that $120 then, that's it. And they would just participate in that seminar at one point and get that incentive, and that would be it. We would still offer challenges, webinars, classes for people to sign up for. And the evidence suggests that the people who actually participate in the challenges, the webinars, and the classes are people who are intrinsically motivated to make a change in their life anyway. They might sign up for, knowing that they need to get points, but they're doing it because they are intrinsically motivated. So we're already only getting people who are participating because they're intrinsically motivated. So will this design be beneficial and solve a lot of our challenges with the wellness program? We think it will. We think it'll help because it'll remove the points and all the entering points and filling out forms for what you completed and what you didn't. And it will remove this check the box mentality. Really, the idea is that we're creating a program that's like a funnel, and everyone has to go through this little section where they learn about what they're being offered, and then they go out and they engage in it because they're motivated to engage in it. Now, the concerns we often have are, what about those people who only participate in wellness because they get an incentive? And I would say for those, they're not engaged in making changes to their health and wellness, which is what the wellness program is focused on. And if that's the case, then they're still going to go either do their annual exam or do the healthcare seminar in order to get the insurance discount. They're probably still going to do the seminar for wellness to learn about the services. And then once they are aware of all the services and the value of them, they're much more likely to engage in them because they're now aware of them. Whereas so many employees aren't even aware of those services now. So we believe that this is actually much more supportive of the employees, because we think that all the things we offer for wellness should be valuable on their own. And if people aren't engaging in them, then we need to consider removing it and changing that with a different vendor or a different service. Because if it's valuable, people will use it. People are pay for a lot of these services that are come off the street anyway. So as long as employees find it valuable, they will engage in it. And if they don't, then at least they're getting their annual exam and biometrics. Or we can even include preventative screenings in that. The next challenge is that incentives are detrimental to intrinsic motivation. Essentially, when an employee is told they're going to get an incentive for something, they inherently believe it has no value, and that's why you have to give them an incentive for it. It puts them in what we call the reactive mind, right, where they're more resistant to it because the messaging is, we have to incentivize you to do this. So by removing incentives for those coaching behavior change type programs and only incentivizing that seminar, because we don't care if they're intrinsically motivated to attend the seminar, we just need them to have the information, then we open up the door for them to engage in the services because they inherently have value, and to see the value that is in front of them now that they're aware of them. And the next concern was that the current health insurance incentive still feels like a stick to some. Well, the health insurance discount has been removed from wellness and is more directly related to the responsible use of the healthcare plan. That's how it can be communicated and marketed. Take this seminar and learn about the responsible use of the healthcare plan and get a discount, or at least get your annual exam and biometrics, know where your health is to prevent catastrophic, costly expenses later. And I think that communication will help people understand and see the value of that incentive in relation to responsible use of the healthcare plan. The next concern is that we don't want to pull incentives away from people because we don't want them to feel like something was taken away from them. Well, in this model, we have maintained the exact incentives they already have, but we have framed them differently. And because we've attached them to different things, we've removed them from things that intrinsic motivation are required for in order to make behavior change. Because of that, we've had an opportunity to maintain those incentives, but reframe them. And they only have to do one thing in order to receive them. It's also difficult to measure all the benefits of a wellness program. And with this idea, then all the things we offer are only going to be utilized by people who are truly engaged in utilizing it. They're not doing it for points or incentives or any other reason. So it's going to be much easier for us to measure which programs are effective at getting engagement and helping people, and which need to be scratched and replaced. So it's going to be much easier to measure engagement in that way. We want to simplify the program. Lots of complaints every year about it being too confusing, what's worth points, how to enter points. This simplifies the program hugely. There's no more points. There's no more having to find all the forms and enter points. There's no more endless lists of what is worth points. It's just get your healthcare plan reduction by doing one of these two things, and get your wellness program incentive by watching this seminar or participating in this live seminar. And that's it. And then we have all these other challenges and coaching services available for you to support you, because ultimately we know employees want to feel better. They want to be a healthy weight. They want to sleep better. They want to have less stress. We don't need to incentivize them. These are things they naturally want. Making them aware of what we offer and how we can help them is another story, and that's why we incentivize that. And then we can still absolutely, next concern was that we don't want to change the program because employees are burnt out on change. From the employee experience, though, this change actually makes things easier on them. They still get access to the same incentives. It could still be on the same website. Both of them would still be on the same website, but it just simplifies the system a lot for them. So though it is a change that we would need to communicate, when they log in, it would be much more self-explanatory because there'd be a lot less we'd have to communicate. And we can still offer recognition for those who engage in our one-on-one coaching, things like that, by being nominated as wellness warriors, by giving them certificates for completing 6 sessions, things like that. And then the last concern was many employees are not aware of the wellness program services we offer. Well, by incentivizing heavily just attending this one seminar, I don't know how long it'll be. It could be several hours where it'd be broken up and they'd have to watch it over multiple times. But that being said, they will learn all of what we offer and how to sign up for it, who's offering it, and get their questions answered about the vendor themselves and the service themselves. Plus, this gives us an opportunity to finally have a captive audience to communicate all the changes to the benefits every year through the healthcare seminar that will be required in order to get the healthcare discount. So this is our proposal. The committee wants me to bring this to you. They would like to move forward with this for next plan year. If we are going to do that, we would need to know if we can address your concerns as trustees so that we can get marketing out about it for open enrollment sooner rather than later. I have brought this to many employees so far. The feedback I've gotten is that they love it. It's much more simple, much more likely to use. They will not see it as a check the box program. They see it as genuinely trying to support employees. They want us to allow people to do both healthcare options. In other words, if they want to get their annual exam, biometrics, and do the seminar, they'd like to be able to do both, which of course we would let them do. They want us to make sure that we still keep up with the webinars and things to promote the one-on-one services throughout the year, which we will, as well as challenges. They want us to market the value of the one-on-one coaching sessions we offer, in other words, what someone off the street would pay for that very service. And so we can start doing that. They want us to keep the option of doing the annual exam virtually through Vera, where people could have their virtual appointment and then just go in and get their biometrics to make it easier for everyone. And that is something I'm in contact with Vera about. They want us to explain why incentives kill intrinsic motivation, the science behind it. And ultimately, we can do that for leadership, and I can create a video on it, but it's ultimately about trying to get from the reactive mind, which is more resistant, and get to the creative mind, which is more problem solving. And incentives automatically put us in more of that reactive mind because we assume it's something we don't want to do. That's why we have to be incentivized to do it. And then we can make this change for July 1 or even May 16th potentially if we know that we have the buy-in from the board, but we don't know that we can wait for the next board meeting to get an understanding of whether or not we have buy-in from the trustees. So I'm creating this video for you so that you can review the proposal with a document and then potentially give us feedback. The biggest concern that's been brought up so far is, what about those people who only do the things for incentives? They'll stop participating in anything altogether. Isn't that bad? And I would say this, for those who are only doing things for incentives, they're still going to do the healthcare incentive, either do the seminar or the biometrics and annual exam, and they're probably still going to do the wellness seminar for the money. And in doing so, they're going to become aware of how to best utilize their health plan and all the services available through wellness. And if they don't engage beyond that, it's probably no different than it is now, because those people who put in the least amount of effort are the ones that are only doing the annual exam to get the points and putting in their dental cleanings and their vision exams, and then they're done. They're not engaging in any behavior change type programming anyway, because those who do already have intrinsic motivation to do so. So it's just communicating that there's no way you can just create intrinsic motivation. What we can do is stop getting in the way of intrinsic motivation being formed by trying to incentivize things that inherently have value for employees. So this is my best attempt at communicating what the Wellness Committee would like to do with the wellness program starting next plan year. If you could please review it and then let me know what next steps you would like to see, that would be wonderful. Thank you. Sorry I spoke so quickly, but let me know if you have any questions.